what's up, everybody? Welcome. Kurt's gonna sing you a song.
I said, baby, don't you text me no more. I said, baby, yeah, don't you Facebook me no more.
Don't poke me either.
Don't you go away, mad baby, yeah, just go away, yeah. I knew it was bad, a bad idea. Said I knew it was bad to accept that message. Well, you know that I opened it, and it was just a scam. I said, baby, don't you text me no more, no. I said, baby, don't you text me no more. Well, you know why we're apart. You know why you're an ex.
Oh, there you go. I'm just. Hello.
Oh, I just had to, start off with the song. I want to send out. Oh, I see somebody's joining us there.
Oh,
at the bottom.
Oh, that must be Miss
Woo!
Chelsea.
Hey guys.
Yes.
What's
happening?
Hey, sorry I couldn't be there.
We're gonna have to get cozy here, bro.
Oh yeah, pull over. No, there. No. Oh. I got it.
He just poked in.
Okay,
Oh.
we weren't prepared for this, but now we're good.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to start the show off with some bad news.
Okay.
Because as you might have heard, there's a big snowstorm coming to Winnipeg. So Gator messaged me. Oh, you can't hear nothing? Okay.
No,
Gator,
I was gonna go. I was just like, I thought you were gonna say Edmonton. I'm like, no, I don't want to hear that.
In Winnipeg, and Gator is out trying to stock up for this snowstorm, and he doesn't know if he'll make it back for the podcast. So I sent him the link, and he's going to try and get home and get set up and tune in, but he may not be able to make it. So it's just going to be us. So I hope you're ready to talk, Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm always, aren't I like always looking?
Well, it's good to see you, and myself too. It's going to be a nice week. This weekend was exciting with the I Am Collective that had just passed over the market, and they're starting to, for the last 3 years, they started to invest in having some music and some dancers and stuff, along with having vendors and kind of making it an event. And so I just want to give a big shout out to Lori and the I Am Collective for doing these events and keeping the community alive, and having musicians come out. We should have our good buddy there. I forget his name. He was on the roster, but he's a young character, and his last name's Desjardins, I think.
Which one?
He sings Johnny Cash.
His last name's Williard.
Williard.
I think.
Williard. Yeah.
What's his first name? I can't remember.
Can't remember. But anyways, he is awesome. He's got a super deep voice, and he's not even 18 yet. And so, it's so cool to see these young and upcoming artists and people like Lena Daniels and and all these young people coming up. These events support those young artists. So good on you, and it was a fun time.
Can you pass me those right there?
Yeah.
It's a good segue into what we're going to talk about next. I don't know if you've seen this, but Voices of the West Cabaret going to be happening at River Cree Resort and Casino this weekend. You can see Chelsea Young. You can see Kurt Young. You can see Trent Ajikude. You can see Jared Lee, and you can see Danita Large all in one place. Chelsea's got tickets. I talked to Jared. Nice shot, Chelsea. That's good. I saw Jared said today that there's only 120 tickets left. So get them while they're hot. People, reach out. We can put your name on some tickets, leave them at the door. You can e-transfer us. And that's the way it is. It's going to be a heck of a party. My mom and dad and my sister and niece are coming. So
nice. Yeah, we're going to have
all the way from Red Deer.
Yeah, we're going to have a full table there as well of my partner. My baby, she's going to be there with a full table full, so it'll be a great event to be a part of, and I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
this weekend, this Saturday, everybody, and if people are kind of getting a little bit confused, that's what I wanted to mention, and they're looking at the venue. And actually, it's in a different place. It's not a part of the venue.
We're in one of the hotel ballrooms, so
yeah,
it's in the hotel. It's a private, non-private function because it's a room that's booked, but there's a hockey tournament going on there this weekend, so there's going to be lots of people in and around River Cree. If you need a break from the music, you can walk over and lay a 20 down on the table. I mean, what don't you like about music, Indigenous people, and gambling?
All in one place.
All in one place.
So yeah, it should be a wonderful time. Looking forward to hearing all of my friends sing and seeing some smiling faces in the crowd for sure.
Yeah, me too. You like put me on the spot, and then my brain went blank. You're like, hope you're ready to talk, and I was like, yeah, no, and just like the light switch went on.
The thing about you, Chelsea, is we can just be talking, and it'll spark something with you, and then the conversation will just flow. So I got no worries about that.
Okay.
How was your weekend, Miss Chelsea? How was your week? How did that go?
So I went and did a show with a fundraiser with Rock and Fiddle, and I have to say, like, I had the best time. Like, I was just super comfortable. It was really easy to follow along. Like, not very many people know. Like, sometimes I can't hear my guitar loud enough to follow along with the band. So Kyle was like showing me like all the songs and everything, and we practice. When I'm with Donnie LaRondelle, when we're on our way to a show, we practice in the vehicle on the way. Like, we were practicing pretty much, well, like the whole entire way for like 2 hours, 3 hours. It was a 3-hour drive. And yeah, so like I think today, well, not I think, sorry. Today Donnie asked me to do a few more shows with him. So he's gonna look into getting me paid and coming along and what that's gonna look like. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a learning opportunity for me because Donnie has been a great mentor, and he teaches me all kinds of music and how to sing it, and like all these new songs and stuff like that, like the stage presence. So I'm like really comfortable with them. So it's going to be a really great experience, I think.
That's
Lots
awesome.
of fun, especially.
That's awesome.
How was your guys this weekend?
Go ahead, Trent.
Weekend. Sorry, my mic stand is being retarded, and I think that that's an amazing thing for you to do, Chelsea. Those guys are all great musicians, and any time on stage is valuable time on stage, and just being able to play with a band is something that's gonna change a lot of how you perform and everything. And every time you get in front of a stage or get into another situation where you have to play with a band now, it'll be that much easier for you. So it's an amazing opportunity. Like I told Kurt, the best thing to do when you start becoming a musician is to learn how to say yes. Like when people put something in front of you, say yes, because it's an opportunity, like you said, to learn. If nothing else, you learn from the situations, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've had Johnny during the pandemic actually to kind of mentor me, teach me music and stuff like that. And of course, we weren't really able to during the pandemic, everything. And he's such a busy guy, so there's no greater way to like teach me other than to, like the experience, like firsthand being there with them, and just yeah, all the guys are like really great, really awesome.
That's like a tradition. Sorry, Kurt.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
That's like a tradition in the country music community as well. Is like often older musicians will take on younger musicians to bring them up and teach them the ropes, right? Or just to help them along when they can. And it helps everybody because every act benefits from a younger person coming in or whatever, because it is like it gives more youthful energy. Like when I started playing with my dad, I was 19, so that really helped push him and give him a little bit of energy. 10 years later, when my brother became old enough to play and he started playing in the bar with us, that gave me some energy after being like worn down from playing 5 hours a night, 6 nights a week, right? Like that stuff grates on you. But when you're able to mentor and bring along younger musicians, it makes everything worthwhile, and it's a full circle thing, right? Like you start here and you end here, and hopefully you're helping someone along the way in your journey.
Yeah.
Well, I've always envisioned that someday I will get to that point where I'm going to mentor somebody, and I don't feel like I'm there yet, So like I've learned so much along the way. Mind you, like I didn't, grow up with musicians and doing shows and traveling and whatever. I've been doing it the last, well, I want to say 5 years, but technically not, because the last two were, so for like 3 years, that's, like I was just kind of, I call it thrown to the wolves, because I had no idea what I was doing. But I went out there, did my best. I had fun. It was a learning experience. I got to do what I loved. And you know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, well, um, everything that I learned from Donnie, it feels like now I know what I'm doing, because then he's not just telling me, here, sing this one, or yeah, okay, just start singing and we'll chord for you. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know the chords, like I'll be singing something that I play in this one chord, and Donnie's like, no, that's a little too high for you. Let's try it in this one. That's a little too low for you. Let's try it in this one. You know what I mean? Like just that back and forthness, like, yeah, it's just something that really excites me. So I'm back at that point where I'm like, I really want to get back into music again, like especially for like this year during the summer and everything. I do plan to go back to school. um I want to be a community support worker. So like I'm just gonna have fun this year. This
Are you
the
sure?
rest
Because
of
that's
the
what I do. I can tell you all about it. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, it's like it's so funny because like I don't know what it is, but for me I felt like, am I just not relevant anymore? Am I not loved anymore? No more shows. And then the shows are just coming in now and stuff, and I'm like, oh, not really all that ready, but like I'm just excited that it's gonna be a lot of fun. I
Just
just
embrace
definitely
it
want to
and
be
learn
like
how to say yes.
Yeah, no, that's true though. And to have a mentor, to have somebody that's teaching you those things is always important, especially somebody like you said that you're comfortable with. And it's really important to, that's half of the battle is playing people that you're comfortable with, and playing with people, and it's just, it makes it all that much better, the experience, the journey, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that's good to hear. Yeah. No, the weekend was definitely
Oh
a
yeah, I
busy
forgot we were
one.
talking about
Yeah.
the weekend.
So what did you end up doing there, buddy?
This weekend, I honestly cleaned the studio. You can't tell now, but I cleaned the carpets. And then Saturday,
it looks kind of cleaner in here.
Saturday I actually worked on the podcast. Like we had like the past 5 weeks, I kind of slacked off and I didn't do the editing to break up the podcast for Facebook posts and stuff. So I did that all day Saturday, like 9 hours of editing and uploading to Facebook and YouTube. And so I want to say that thank you all out there because we're getting some YouTube subscribers. So if you guys have a chance, go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button. We broke 100 today. So we thank you all. There's tons of content on YouTube. Every time we do a podcast, we divide it up into 5 different videos, or if somebody sings a song, I do that. And we just put that content up there for you to go back and laugh and remember the crazy stuff we say here, because sometimes we say some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know. Well, like last week, I definitely had something interesting, just a little something that's off music a little bit, but I had something interesting happen to me when I was just going to the gym, coming out of the gym on the west side at the Fit for Less, and so I come out and there's this Nissan that's like parked literally against my bumper, like my front bumper, and where my bumper is like, past the line.
Yeah.
It's like before the line, so he had to like come across the line to actually bump my bumper, right? And this guy that was sitting there in the truck, he's like, "Hey man, I just saw that guy. He pulled up and your vehicle even kind of moved back when he pulled up, and he just like left it like literally sitting like
at least back off the bumper, like hide what you do."
It was like we were kissing. Our vehicles were kissing. I'm like, holy smoke. So anyways, I ended up like getting a video of it, but I checked it out. I washed it off and stuff, and there was no like real scrapes or whatever, but I ended up like getting this guy like license plate and his car, and this other guy gave me his information because he saw the guy do it or whatever. But yeah, it was crazy. So be nice out there.
Oh my God. So speaking of that, I did that once. It was in the morning. My son was late for school, so I drove him to school. And by the time I came back, this is like a 15-minute ride. And by the time I came back, somebody stole my spot, and I was just like so frustrated with like so many people like park in front of our building that are, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I went and did the same thing. I backed up right until I kissed the person's bumper. And then I got out and I look and I'm like, I instantly felt bad. I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm not going to do that. I got back in my car, went to go start it, and my key fob broke. I drove my car around as long as I could with a broken key fob. I managed to fix it just enough to start the vehicle. And
just using a plier.
Like later on, and like at the end of the day or whatever, I step out and I see this girl that I knew, and she was a Christian. She's this Christian girl. Her name is Shavina, a beautiful, beautiful singer, gospel singer, And I was like, oh my God, is that your vehicle? And I just felt compelled to tell her, you know what, like, I'm really sorry that I blah, blah, blah. I did that, but there's no scratch or anything or whatever. Now I know that the Lord really loves you. I mean, like, my key fob broke. It was really funny. Like, I was like, I'll never mess with another Christian again.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about my vehicle. And you know what? I had a minivan for 2 years, and nobody ever messed with my minivan. I bought a 2017 Charger, really nice vehicle, the sports car, almost like a midlife crisis type thing.
You beat me to it.
So I'm driving around, really like loving this vehicle, and like sure enough, like 3 times I got vandalized, like in different things. And once was at Trent's, I parked it inside because I was like, oh, somebody will go by and mess with it. So I parked it inside the like actual garage, and somebody went up and like scratched the window on it. Like you have to like take the real time to be able to scratch the window and make it like all scratched on the back. And it was the back like passenger window. So it was like one of the hardest windows to replace. It was like $600 or something just for the one window to replace, right? So, and then another time was in Airdrie. I parked the same Charger, and I parked it so far away from the front because I was like, I don't want anyone to like open their vehicles and bash your vehicle.
Yeah.
So I ended up like parking quite a ways away,
3 kilometers away.
and so somebody ends up grabbing a cart and like throwing it in between the boulevard and my vehicle. So it was like stuck in between and dented into my side of my vehicle. Anyways, yeah, craziness.
That reminds me, when you said the back window was broken, how many of us, like, I've been poor pretty much my whole life. I haven't had a lot of money. I've been a musician. How many out there have broken the back window in your, say, band van, and then had to just put a garbage bag, duct tape around the back for like months until you could afford to put a window in
Yeah,
I haven't had to do that, but on my way to a gig, I stopped for gas and went inside the store, come out and realized that I locked my keys in the car. Like, I'm sending, people are like, oh my God, are you Chelsea Young? Like, hi, pictures and everything. I'm like, yeah, I need some help. I locked myself out of my vehicle. Like, it was craziness. The store eventually found like a clothes hanger to open my door, but it took like an hour, and I was like, great. Now I carry this thing around. You guys saw my keychain, right? And my keys will like, I legit will like have to look at my key when I'm stepping out now, and I will like lock the door and my key. I don't know. It's so funny because I'm so scared to lock myself out again.
I've done that so many times where you lock your keys, like especially with the older vehicles where it would just lock. Like I had an old Camaro, and I did it so many times with the clothes hanger. I used to keep a clothes hanger near, like just for that. Like, yeah,
I've been in the old Camaro.
yeah.
I had so like when the pandemic had started, I decided to break my lease agreement there for reasons I just cannot really talk about, but I broke my lease agreement and I thought I could get a place right away, but so I wanted to go stay with a friend. I ended up bouncing around 3 places and then a hotel with my niece, my nephew, my son, my daughter. Went to a hotel, got this really bad townhouse in the ghetto, like right by the baseball bat, right smack in the ghetto there. And then, sorry about that.
Baseball bat,
Anyways,
right on the corner of one.
my van got freaking T-boned and they couldn't fix it. It was so bad. And so I had to give up that vehicle, and then I bought a car off my uncle. Okay, get this. No. This car was a Pontiac, 2009 Pontiac anyway. And every time you put it into gear, it would like this really bad kick, like doof, you could just hear it. And to the point where all of a sudden the car would just take off on its own. And there'd be black smoke in the back and everything, like middle of winter, sorry for my language, middle of winter, and I'm trying to like keep us warm and I can't keep us warm. Like the heat barely worked in it, but it wasn't like we were freezing or anything. Or anytime I would like try to have a smoke or whatever roll down the window, I actually legit had to push the window back up just to keep it, because the car was cold. It's winter out. I need a smoke. I'm not standing out there 40 below wet, you know? I was like, oh my God, yeah, life of a struggling musician, you know? It's so funny. Meanwhile, it's like, oh my God, you're Chelsea Young. You know what I mean? I'm like, still got to put on that face. You still got to go out there and sing. You still got to hustle for that money, you know?
Just smile.
Man, it's been quite an adventure being a musician.
Oh, totally. I mean, I remember one time, like in particular, in the Camaro, At the time, I was a crazy partier guy, and it was a long time ago. So I used to I was coming back from a party, so I was kind of buzzed, actually. No joke. And for some dumb reason, I was probably 19 years old. This guy was in the vehicle. I hit the gas like as fast as the Camaro could go. For some reason, I don't know why I did this.
Because you're 19.
Yeah, 19 and drinking and crazy. And this guy lived in a basement suite, and there was vehicles on each side, and I ended up losing control of the Camaro, and the Camaro spun 3 times in between two sets of cars, and we didn't hit any of the cars. The car spun like this, and then we ended up on the other side of the road facing this way. Hey,
Yeah.
and then we just like looked at each other like, what the hell? We laughed and spun around. But I remember like the Camaro, because it had the back wheel drive. So in winter, we used to just do donuts and all kinds of shit. And then, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
I kind of remember that. But yeah, no, we did a lot of dumb shit when we were younger. Like, we're lucky to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
for real.
Total disclaimer: don't drink and drive. Okay?
Yes. Don't ever do
We're
that.
not glorifying.
We're
that,
not
believe me.
glorifying it. We're just saying
It's
we're
just
Laughing
lucky.
at the stupidity is what we're doing.
Geez, I'm glad that it's been like, for me anyway, it's been like 13 years now since I had a drink. So I
Me 2.5. So
yeah, 2.5 for you. So
I bet you never thought that would happen.
yeah, no, it's when the time is too crazy for me, I just ran out of my cat lives. I think I don't have any cat lives left. If I fall,
Yeah.
I'm falling. Yeah.
Man, all this talk about cars and whatever, it reminds me of how many times that I broke down on the road. Like going to gigs or coming home from gigs. There's one time we were coming home from, we were playing in Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, and we came home and we hit this really deadly snowstorm, like a really bad snowstorm, and then the car just died on us right outside of Camrose. There's this little hotel that we were able to pull into. The car wouldn't start. So we get to the hotel, and all the power's out in the hotel. So they can't even, they're having trouble renting us a hotel room, and they don't want it, whatever. So we ended up having cash, and we give them cash. They give us a room, and there's no power in the room. So it's Sunday night. We had just been playing, and Mikey Larson was there, and my dad. Now, if you know me and Mikey and my dad, we used to like to drink when we were together, and we got nothing to do, and we're in the dark in a hotel room. So Mikey finally goes back to the front desk and convinces the front desk clerk to sell us a bottle of whiskey out of the liquor store, because they shut everything down because the tills didn't work anymore, and they're like, oh, we can't keep track of the stock or whatever. Mikey, whatever he did, he convinced her finally. She sold us a 40. And we sat in the dark with the door open a crack, because there was one of those fire exit lights in the hallway, and it was just like about 6 feet from our room. So when we opened the door, a little bit of light came in through the crack of the door. So we sat in the dark and drank whiskey out of those portable disposable cups that they throw away in your room. Yeah. So we had those, and we played guitar until about 4 a.m. in the dark. And people in the hotel would walk by and just stare in the room for a while, and then they'd leave. But yeah, that was one of my breakdown in a snowstorm stories.
It's a Dixie Cup party.
Yeah.
Firestone. We did a show with Firestone, right? We passed through, I think it was Saskatoon. We were all just busy just talking away, like vibing from all, like the fun that we had or whatever, right? Just right outside of Saskatoon, I think it was, Everett forgot to gas up. And we had just passed like a gas station, but we, it was like kind of too far for us to like walk. It was like 3-4 kilometers or something like that. And we didn't have a jerry tank, nothing. Anyways, these guys are like standing out on the side of the highway. We were able to kind of find a road, turn around, and then we just kind of glided until the vehicle just stopped. Like we were right out of gas. And they were trying to like, flag people down, like with their lights and cell phone lights and whatever. And that didn't work. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a girl. It's dark out. It's really late. Somebody is bound to stop for me, like, and I tried to do that. And instead of flashing somebody down, we just turned the light on me. And I was like, help, help us. Sure enough, somebody like, because like so many vehicles just kept on passing us by and everything was so like just turned the light on me and somebody stopped like like what is this girl doing out in the middle of nowhere? And they, they ended up helping us. But that was, we're like, how do we like forget to gas up?
It's tough though. Like, have you ever traveled on a Sunday in Saskatchewan?
Oh yeah.
All the small towns close at like 7.
Yeah.
Remember when we were going to Voices of the North, Chelsea? We had to go back an hour back to North Battleford because we were cutting across, and then I forgot to gas up in Lloydminster. So when we crossed the border, everything was shut.
Yeah.
And we're like, and I was getting down to a quarter of a tank, and I had hang back south, go back to North Battleford so we could, gas up and then go back and head back to Prince Albert. But it was, it's tough in Saskatchewan. They shut everything down.
Yeah.
And it's only the bigger centers that have gas.
I was coming from Stanley Mission, and it was like 3 a.m, and I'm just like, there's nobody around. Like, if there's aliens out here, and you're like absolutely
Can you
alone.
bring me a jerry can?
I'm like, I haven't seen like anybody in the last 2 hours in either direction. It's like it's absolutely wild out there for sure. Traveling through Saskatchewan. You are all alone sometimes out there. That's for sure. A couple times I drove all night, and because you're just wanting to get home. Sometimes at that point, I drove and I didn't get home till 6:30 a.m. But I was just like, I'm just gonna drive through the night, man. Like, I just sometimes I like it.
I did that
when you're all alone and vibing and turning up the tunes, and it's just you on the road. And another time was freaky, actually, when it was storming. It looked like the road was gonna wash away, and the lightning came on, and I look and there's water as far as I could see on this side. And then the lightning strikes as far as I could see is water on this side. If the road washed away, man, no, would have been a bad swim.
I don't swim very good. I can float.
Well, speaking of water, I really can't remember where it was. I know that it was Ontario, and it was a fly-in community, and where we were staying, there was the lake right across the road, and had to kind of go through this little trail or whatever, right? I look back and you could see the house and everything. So the Firestone boys were all up there. This little girl, she was like, I was walking with her, and she was, taking me down to the lake to go. And I was like, oh, such a beautiful scene, and this is so awesome. And, like so beautiful. I was there for 5 minutes, and this big grizzly bear, or this big brown bear, just comes freaking charging right across this little part of the scenery. I was like, oh my God. And my first instinct was turn around and run. And then I was like, oh my God, like in a split second, I was like, shit, there's a little girl with me.
Chelsea pushes the little girl in front of the bear.
And she was going to start running, and she tripped over. I think it was fishing line that was like caught in all the tall grass and whatever. And I'm like trying to pull her, and I'm like, it's like, just stay calm. I thought, like, I realized I'm like, the worst thing to do is try to outrun a bear, he's just running, and it was so close too. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, don't freak out. And she's just like, I'm not scared. It's like a normal thing for them to see like a bear run by, and I'm like, oh my God, I get back over there, and of course Firestone boys are just cracking up. They're like, oh my God, like you were gonna throw the little girl for bait,
Notice that's the first.
Oh my God. I'm like shaking. I'm like, let's go. Hey, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine. She's like,
You're not supposed to run from there.
Yeah, yeah, no predator animals are you supposed to run from, they say. We were at Elk Island, Joanna and myself, and we walked into the fence area, hey? And I told her, we're with the buffalo. We're out, like, we're
Yeah.
beyond the fence, and she got freaked out. And then so we're walking along, and we heard some rattling in the bush, and I looked back, and all I seen was heels and elbows going. She's like, "Come out of here!" I looked back, and yeah, she ran for it. I was like, "Oh, I didn't know she could run that fast," but yeah. Uh,
This is some fun, crazy fun stories, man.
oh yeah, no, that's what music does. It brings you, to interesting places. Like, even when sometimes we're lucky enough to take a flight, somewhere, like with our music or whatever we're doing, as artists. And not those aren't always easy as well. I remember, like, us going to China, like myself and Dallas, we went to China, and we couldn't find our interpreter, hey, like the person that was supposed to help us. And so it was a really good learning lesson, going somewhere where nobody speaks English and nobody understands you or knows what you're talking about, and you're trying to connect to the next flight, because there's only one flight a day. So if you miss that flight, then you got to wait till the next day, the exact same time, and it might be overbooked now. So there's basically like, don't miss your flight. And the airport that we got to was just absolutely huge, and it was wild too. Like, I just remember, like, the whole experience of it. Finally we found our interpreter. And yeah, it was just quite the experience, that's for sure. But it was nice to learn what it felt like to be somewhere where nobody spoke English, and it was like totally foreign. Like, I was like, wow, we are definitely at the mercy, and we need our interpreter to make things happen out here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
Like one of my biggest fears about traveling is that, like, I'm known to get lost all the time. You know,
Well, maybe you need an interpreter everywhere.
on my face.
And that's the thing about, like, traveling too, is you start to get to know how to travel and how to deal with when you're in different places. Like, when there was a time that I got to go to Peru, and they had Solus. That's what it's called, Solus, eh? And so, like, I got to the hotel, and the guy's like, "Well, how much did you pay?" And I paid 30 solas. The guy's like, and my buddy that also went was like, "What the hell? I ended up paying like 80 to 100 solas to get in the same ride that you paid 25." So yeah, it's just getting to know the travel and the community and traveling and stuff. It's so interesting though. Like, I met a little girl out there in Peru, where she had to learn English because the most money that they made was from her selling her family's artifacts at night to tourists. So, like, I actually made friends with this little girl. She was just awesome, and she could speak English. So, I ended up, like, giving her, I think I had a CD player and some other stuff, like, so I ended up giving it to her, to keep and stuff. But yeah, it was just crazy, because in Peru, you have to pay each month for kids to go to school. So a lot of times the kids will go to school to learn English, because the most money that people make in Peru is off the tourists.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to know English to be able to sell to the tourists. So she goes to school all day. The parents make the crafts and artifacts and stuff, and then give it to her to sell at night. So yeah, quite just so interesting. So such interesting traveling around. It's definitely a cool thing for sure.
Different cultures.
And I was there for music and that too, and that's wild too, to play to people who don't understand really English and stuff. But when you play the flute and the hand drum, it really kind of like brings it together, I guess, in that form. I was there for more of a cultural thing, so
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really interesting, quite interesting for sure. Yeah, the travel on the airplanes is definitely it can get you, like you said, Chelsea, you can get lost pretty quick and pretty easy, doing it. And you got to be on time, especially with that stuff. It's just crazy.
I'm the worst person to travel on a plane with.
Remind me
First
of
of
that.
all, first of all, before you even get on a plane with me, I
Well,
will play Sleepwalker for you. I'll be like, check out this awesome song. That's my favorite song. And I will, it's a, you know what song that is, right? Sleepwalker from La Bamba when he when,
Yes, steel guitar. So,
when he dies. you know? I'm like, oh my god, it's freaked out so many people, and I just got a laugh out of it, a kick out of it, or I fall right asleep. So if you're like you have, like fear of flying, your first time flying with me, or like you're nervous, anything like that, I'm like the worst person. I'm like, well, the pressure of the plane just instant. As soon as the plane takes off, I'm like, it's okay, I got you, and then I'm just out.
like, I've been afraid of
You
flying.
can't help it. We almost crashed once, and I slept through the entire thing. Like all the lights lit up and everything, and everyone was shook and like just like, oh my
yeah,
god, we could have died. And I was just like, yeah, but I had a good sleep where we landed. It's
yeah.
funny.
Well, I remember that when we went to Montreal there, when that time we did that show, I flew in first and then you flew in after type of thing. Yeah, that was a fun little quick show that we did there, eh?
Yeah,
A quick
yeah.
one. Yeah. But yeah, I almost actually crashed too. Like one time, the whole the whole plane fell and like there was kids screaming and stuff. Holy smokes! But I was awake for that. I actually got pretty freaked out for that one. Yeah, yeah. Our travel and battle stories, that's for sure. as
Yeah.
as musicians, eh? For sure.
What I was gonna say about flying is like I've never been scared, and I never like saw anybody actually physically reacted. But one time when I flew up to Yellowknife with Jared Sallin and Jason Berg, and legit Berg changed a different color. Like he took like gravel and stuff where we took off, but and then he was like, I am never flying anywhere again, play music or something. But it was like I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, Jay, but that was scary for me to watch because he legit like turned a different color. He had like a physical reaction, and it has something to do with like the air pressure or whatever. But yeah, so I can understand if people have a hard time because I've actually seen it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't affect me in the same way.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't flown for a long time, since the pandemic or before and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, but I don't mind it. I'm kind of like Chelsea. I'll just fall asleep, especially during takeoff. Yeah, just something about it just puts me to sleep. And then like when you're taking off, it like makes you sit back into your seat even harder, and you're just like, sleeping harder.
Mhm.
It's just
I
great.
hitchhiked from Manitoba to Saskatchewan once. I actually had a gig in Ontario, and then my first flight landed in out of there, landed in Manitoba, where Firestone was in Saskatchewan, and asked me to try to get there, and that they'll pay me whatever. And I'm like, okay. I ended up paying like $500. I put it out on Facebook. I was like, can somebody drive me here? I'll pay whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I was legit gonna start walking. Didn't know which direction. I was just gonna put on my GPS and just start walking. And then, but luckily somebody like got back to me, a friend on Facebook, and they actually have like this service that they when Indigenous women need a ride or whatever, they provide the ride to wherever they're going so that they don't go missing or anything like that. And I didn't even think of that really at the time. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go do a show with Firestone. Don't tell anybody that I'm coming. It'll be a surprise. And halfway there, I'm like, yeah, this is actually pretty scary. But the crazy thing is, like that we do when it comes to like gigs and whatnot, just to make it there, and the little things that we have to go through, and yeah, I have this irrational fear of
What
couch
was
surfing.
that in transport when you're playing, right? Like, how many times? Like, I've been playing since I was 19. How many times have I been on a dark road at night on a Saturday night at 4 a.m? You never know what's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
you said, like anything can happen. We all are very fortunate when nothing does happen, but there have been bands that have had accidents and
Yeah.
people have died and been injured. And I mean, we don't ever want to wish that on anybody. So honestly, when you're out there playing, be safe.
Yeah.
Pull
for
over
real.
if you're tired, because that's a lot of ways how accidents happen.
It's so true. There's so many times where I kept driving where I should have pulled over.
Window rolled down,
trying to stay
music
awake.
blaring,
Woo!
yep.
Yelling or
Slapping yourself.
trying to stay awake, and you're like, I can make it just one more hour,
Yeah.
one more hour. And all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, that's bad.
Oh my God, that happened to me on my way to Prince Albert? No, Prince George, BC. And my GPS took me through the scenic route. Not just straight there. Like, I went through the whole scenic route and mountains and everything, and big trucks and crazy drivers. The speed limit says 90 maximum, and people are going 140 around the freaking tight curves, and it's like pitch black. There was like a whole 2 or 3 hours of no like stores, I think, just before you get into Prince George. And I was like falling asleep. I was crying. I was like, I'm never doing another gig in BC again. And never, if we're not flying here, I'm never doing another gig here again. I was just in tears because I was so tired, like 12 hours of driving. My brother's sitting there just, gripping the seat. He was like, yeah.
But it got done, right?
We made it there, and I was just like felt like I was drunk or something. So tired when we got there.
I do have one coming up like that actually in
Oh,
June.
Yeah. We just that's another thing. Our band Niji, we've been booking a few shows, but we're gonna be doing Casino Dene on 24th and 25th of June. So if you're in the area, check it out.
Yeah, Cold
Lake,
Lake.
Alberta.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be going from here's one for you. I'm gonna be going from Cold Lake. The show should end about 1 or 2 a.m. And then the next morning I gotta be in Regina at 7 p.m. for a show on stage at 7 p.m. So I gotta be there for 6-ish.
So you gotta leave Cold Lake at like 5 in the morning, or?
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those times we're talking about right now.
Yeah. What we don't do to perform.
Yeah. Might as well do it, right?
Yeah.
Actually, somebody was just inquiring about May 9th. I believe I go to Gift Lake on the 7th, then my hometown Wabasca on the 8th, and then the next place would be like calling like the community over from my hometown, but I'm not too sure about the dates just yet. I think I need to talk to Darren about that. But that is insane to be doing that, like travel early in the morning to get to there, or the night before. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard one because, well, I'm thinking, I'll get as much sleep as I can that night, and then just drive to the show, do the show, and then relax type thing, right? Because it's like it's just an acoustic one set. It's not an all night thing, so it's kind of just do the one set and be done type of thing. But I got to be kind of on, too, because it's like, it's some sort of storytelling festival. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it'll be in Regina on the 26th of June.
Do you need a security guard? I don't charge much.
You never know.
So what's next on our agenda for tonight? Gator, we wish you could have made it, buddy, but we understand there's a huge snowstorm coming up.
Yeah.
In Winnipeg, we'll send our positive thoughts out to the people of Winnipeg, because we definitely. Well, I don't want to see no more snow, but
There you go, bud.
I guess it's my turn to
Since I
sing.
sang one.
Keep it in Winnipeg, eh?
Winnipeg.
All that snow over there, please.
You got any messages there? I was selling tickets. I wasn't ignoring your story, Chelsea, when I was texting. I was talking to my cousin Bonnie and my aunt. My uncle and her might come out. Also, I forgot my Aunt Janice and my cousin Kirsten, her husband, might come out. So hopefully we'll be seeing some family and friends here on Saturday. We'll be singing all kinds of songs.
Yes, you're going to get some blues, some country, some awesome songs from some female singers. You know, they always bring that awesome vibe. You know, it's really brings a nice balance when you have male and female together singing.
I've been singing different things lately. I haven't really been working on any covers lately. That's the thing. Like everybody, I don't like to do covers as much.
Yeah.
But because I did them for 20 years in a band with my dad.
Play as an original, brother.
That's what I'll do. Marijuana. No, I'm just kidding. We'll play that for you one time, Chelsea. Me and Kurt.
Yeah, you're gonna
on
laugh. She'll probably come up with some sort of hook line for that.
It's called "Do You Wanna," and it rhymes with marijuana, so you can get where it's from. It's just another fun, Niji song. Okay, so let's do a song. I'm just trying to think. I haven't been doing. I have a new album out, by the way. It's coming out May 1st. I got some CDs made for this show on Saturday, so they'll be for sale there. And this can give me a set list, actually. So,
Ooh, actually, I will have some CDs for sale too.
Sweet.
Hey, there you go.
Oh yeah, and I guess we should say that me and Chelsea are kind of talking about doing a little gospel album project.
Woo!
We're talking about what we can do. And trying to get. Sorry, I'm just letting some of these comments go out there. This one was from Susan Andrew. And Susan seems to give us some good tidbits here all the time. So does Wendy Smith. Yeah, so let's do a song. I'll take that off. This one's called...
It's called...
I'll remember it once I get into it. Driving down the road, chasing daylight. My only friend, that bright BC moon. Clock on the dash, it's nearing midnight. I'm one day farther from you. Mountains surround me with your memory. With any luck, I'll see the ocean soon. Even with 1,000 miles between us, I can't help still wanting you. I want to be the one that holds you. I want to love you through the night. Just wrap your arms around me. Tell me everything's alright. That's what it's called, by the way. Tell me everything's alright. There you go. Kurt's got a new job. I see the sun rising gently in my rear view. Listening to the little Willies. Nora's voice trembles while her heart breaks. I choke back tears cause my heart breaks for you. I wanna be the one that holds you. I wanna love you through the night. Just wrap your arms around me. Tell me everything's alright. Tell me everything's alright. There's this one for you. Oh, what I was gonna say about this album is that it's the only place that on CD that you can get Too Deadly for Me by Niji. I put that as a bonus track as well as my other single, Dad's Guitar, on for just for the CD copies. They won't be on the online version of the album, but so if you come out and buy a copy from me, you get something that you can't get anywhere else.
There you go. Yeah, come buy some CDs this Saturday.
Yes.
April 16th at the River Cree.
8 p.m.
Yes. One more time.
Chelsea, put it in your camera. You can get closer. Oh, there it is. Voices of the West.
Voices of the West.
Jared Lee, Kurt Young, Trent Ajikude, Chelsea Young, Danita Large.
Yes.
All of us in one room.
Yes.
With hopefully 400 of our closest friends.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
There was 400 tickets printed, and Jared says there's 120 left. So it's already going to be a busy night. So get out there. Come and see your aunties. There's going to be deadly aunties there.
Yeah.
All your deadliest uncles will be there too.
Yeah, you just might meet your next ex over there.
Yeah.
You never know who you'll meet.
There. You never know. There's going to be single people there. And there's going to be people there that are single for the night. I kid.
And also, we just heard today that Magoo is going to be the host.
The MC.
Yeah, so
super fan.
Let's go, let's do. Yeah, that he's got it. He would probably bring his drum out. You never know.
He's gonna come and hype up the crowd for us.
Hype up the crowd. So it's always good to see our Edmontonian friends. That's why, like I was saying, it was so nice this weekend. To see some of the crowds starting to come back that I hadn't seen in so long at community events here in Edmonton. So it's really nice to see that people are coming back. Were you gonna play us a song off your album? Or?
Oh yeah, I can do that if everybody's cool with that. I'll just share it and we can listen. On this song, Russell Schott is playing lead guitar. Ian Rossiter is playing acoustic guitar and mandolin. I'm playing the bass, and my brother Bryce Ajikude is playing the drums. I just have to figure out how to share a screen here. Just hold on. I'm blind. Can you see that, Kurt? What does that say?
That says share.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
No, that's all right. I got to go look at the screen. Give me a second.
Trent's got a...
That's the trouble when you're getting a little bit older. Your eyes play tricks on you. There should share screen. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so we want to go to this one. Sorry, guys. Share screen. And we're going to go with Chrome tab. Coach surfing. There it is. It's up and running. We're going to hit play, and we're going to check out our song. It was a cold January, my first winter here in the city. I was crashing with family, a couple of cousins, and my auntie. I gave her my last dime for a place to stay. Oh, I should say Chelsea's also
her old man got drunk, sent me on my way. Oh, I've seen better days, couch surfing, and it never feels like home. couch surfing. Better sleep with one eye open. I wandered the streets alone with just a backpack and a dying cell phone. I called everyone I
Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
finally came through. She said her house was full, but she'd make space. An old sofa bed in the garage was my new place. My momentary home base.
Thank you for listening to our
Couch
show. We really hope to
surfing.
see you on
Hell, it
April
never
16th.
feels like home.
Wonderful ballroom.
Couch surfing. Better sleep with one eye
You
open.
don't want to miss it. You know, have some fun. Bring your cousins, bring your aunties, bring your sisters, bring your boyfriends, and your whole family. Whole tribe.
That's right. We'll see you then. We're just gonna let this song play out, and then we will see you next week. That's Dean playing that for you, Dean Rossiter.
Couch surfing. No, it never feels like home.
Goes fast.
Couch surfing. Better sleep with one eye open.
Have a good week, everybody.
See you later.
Peace.